Welcome back to One Piece Anime Review Episode 101. This is reviewing just the 889th episode of the anime. If finally it starts, the conspiracy-filled Levy. Yeah, this is the final episode of the Levy arc. Yes, after 11 episodes, this arc started with episode 878 and finally wraps up with this very episode. Yeah, like 12 episodes to adapt what essentially put is a 6 chapter arc. Yes. I will get to my final thoughts of this at the end of the video. Now, there's no new chapter manga this week. Surprisingly, take a week off. Now, this particular episode pretty much finishes adapting chapter 908, covering pages 10 through 17. Yep. Now, what happens in this episode? Okay, we have a strategy meeting of Sabo and a couple of the revolutionary, at least one revolutionary generals. Now, the one who basically had her show up, and I don't remember it's been a while since I've seen her. Yeah, she is nowhere in the episode. Basically, they talk for a little while. They're there to free Kuma. Yes, the guy who's now a rent-a-slave. Oh yeah, he does physically appear in the episode for like 30 seconds. You just see him just like crawling because he's a freaking robot. Yeah, as for how and when in the world the sea was turned into a rent-a-slave, not even the manga bothered to explain it. They're like, oh, here's Bartholomew Kuma, a guy who's now a freaking robot, and now he's a rent-a-slave. Yeah, gone is the awesome outfit he was wearing, and now he's wearing a slave attire. The reason for this? No reason given. I don't think Oda's ever explained why the heck this happened or how the heck this happened. It's just that, oh, we haven't seen it in a while, let's turn him into a rent-a-slave for some reason. Oh yeah, and St. Carlos is still, well, the idiot Carlos is still bruised up after, well, a member of Doflamingo's family hit him with a frickin' club. Yep, we see briefly Sarah Hoshi in this episode along with Vivi, and I think Rebecca makes a quick cameo. They don't say anything. Yeah, they're just there for a quick cameo. Neptune is in this episode. You see him for at least about somewhat of the episode. He doesn't say anything. I mean, the guy who's the king of the country where the windmill village is at, he has like a couple lines in the episode, not very much. And like what it is, what most of the arc has been, it's full of lots of stock footage. Pretty much recaps, pretty simply, Bartholomew Kuma sent Straw Hats various places. Now, those of you curious though who has never watched the separation stuff, and of course where the heck these people ended up. Now, Luffy ended up at Amazon Lily, which basically led to Amazon Lily, and Boa Hancock does print the stock footage for this, though she appears a little bit later. Zoro ended up on the island where Hawkeye Mihawk lives, along with Petra. Yes, Petra, who was actually last seen, well, part of this in Thriller Bark, which was the arc that came it was actually the arc that came before Sabaody. Actually, it was several arcs before Sabaody that basically this happened. It was actually the very previous arc. Nami ended up on a sky island. Usopp on Ebb Island freaking bugs. Where did Nico... Now, they actually don't show where Nicaragua ended up here. Yeah, where did Nicaragua end up? She ended up on this bridge in this country, this bridge built for a century, though she was later liberated by the Revolution Army, probably ordered by Luffy's father himself, Monkey D. Dragon. Brook ended up in the middle of a cult group who thought he was Satan. Oh yeah, and we saw the soul theme member. What was the question he said to her? Can I see your panties? And you have all the guys showing off their underwear. Yep. By the way, you don't see them at all this whole entire when they showed this recap. You don't think it showed Brook when the separation him in the cage, which he was there for a few episodes because he was there for entertainment value. What about Sanji? Sanji, they don't show the island where he ended up. Nope. Where did he end up? He ended up on an island of transvestites. I'm not kidding. Yeah, he called basically living in hell for 2 years. Yep. And you see him come back. Of course, he changed his shirt. Obviously, I don't think they changed by him. It's his shirt, and he moved his eye, his hair of one of his eyes. Yeah. We have sort of a loose recap. Now, they don't show anything of Amazon Lily. That's the strange thing about this whole entire arc. There's barely anything shown Amazon Lily. I will get to that toward the end of the thing. Yeah. After finish recapping that, well, they talked for a little while to rescue Batham Akuma. And then we cut to the meeting, which apparently it started now. Now, in the manga, this only took up like a good 1 or 2 pages of the manga. Here it takes a good about 4 minutes of the episode. You see all these kings just all sitting on the table. Of course, they talk about Wano, they talk about Luffy, they talk about Big Mom, they talk about Kaido. They mentioned that there was a group sent one guy's country, but the current fleet admiral sent those pirates to impel down. Okay. And then we have something a bit unusual. We have the actual ruler of the world. We don't know what this guy's name is. We don't know what his physical appearance is. He's just a guy in black silhouette. He apparently has sliced out a picture of Luffy, Blackbeard, and he has a sword through the face of Shirahoshi. And apparently he's looking at the picture of... Let's see. Oh yeah, a picture of Vivi for some reason. And then you see him just walking up the stairs toward the empty throne. And he sits there. Oh yeah, and the five elder idiots. The five elder idiots. I call them that because I don't really care for these characters at all. One, because they don't show it very much, and two, these people are freaking terrible people. You want to know how I know they're freaking terrible? Because they actually authorized the destruction of an island full of people because they dare research a freaking cube. Yes. Because this poneglyph that apparently is illegal to research this damn thing. It's not illegal to have it. No, it's not illegal to have it. It's illegal to do any research on this damn thing, which I think is so stupid. Oh yeah, and their hypothesis is people think, oh yeah, these things contain blueprints for freaking weapons. Nika Robin has seen 2 of these things, and no. The whole baseless thing that these things contain blueprints, but weapons and mass destruction is completely false. Yes, the world government in the One Piece series is noteworthy for this, basically spreading lies. Though, there's a reason why, because this guy in a black silhouette is telling him to spread these goddamn lies. Yeah. And of course, they ask him, who do you want to erase from history next? And it ends with to be continued, and we never find out about this because it goes straight to Wano because this arc was abruptly cut off after 6 chapters. I've heard something that now here's something I thought was really weird. According to a YouTuber, that his name is King of Lightning, he says that the Wano arc was supposed to happen it was supposed to happen like the previous, supposed to happen in 2017, but that didn't happen. Excuse me, probably because Whole Cake stretched out for as long as it did, and a lot of people thought that the Levy arc would actually last longer than it did, and yeah, apparently it was the editor of One Piece who kind of told Oda, please get the arc a little quicker. I mean, he thought, a lot of people thought they would not get this arc tomorrow like the summertime, just so they could do this. Nope, we did it around this time last year for some strange reason. Yeah, and we kind of forced the end of this arc, and we have this little meanwhile. So far, I've heard something that the arc itself will take a break soon, and we go back to the Reverie for the first time, all 40 chapters. I'm not sure when this is going to happen, and also apparently Oda has been a bit disappointed about the one arc because this is an arc he's been building up for years. I think he's been building this up ever since Thriller Bark. He's been building this arc up for a long time, and you finally get a chance to see it in the manga. And he feels disappointed about it because, well, for one thing, this is an arc basically he's trying to pay off that he's trying to do for a long time. But as far as I know, he doesn't have any plans to do what he doesn't like. I've heard he has an ending plan for the series, but as for what he's going to do after the one arc finally finishes, he doesn't know. That's the thing. Right now, he just focused on the one arc. He's not basically building up future arcs right now. Nothing I can think of, no. Not really. But in the case of this episode, it's a pretty good episode. It's nice to wrap up this particular arc. Now, I do have some mild criticisms about this particular arc. Now, do I have a problem with them stretching out 6 chapters, 12 episodes? Not necessarily, because, well, they probably will get to. They probably didn't want the people. I'm sure Toei did not want to get to one arc too quickly, so they want to stretch it out as long as possible and add stuff in. That's perfectly fine. I don't have a problem with that. My problem is the stuff they use for stock footage. Yes. I mean, they use stuff from basically Luffy's childhood, the stuff from the start of the series. Like, a good chunk of stuff happened over the course of the series. The only arc that did not get any, let's say, any attention, well, let's say you don't see any stock footage of it, is Amazon Lily. Yeah, that one apparently didn't do anything with that. Or Little Garden. Yeah, these two arcs, as far as I know, or even the arc that, well, even the whale. Yeah, a lot of stuff didn't get covered, but I get why the whale wasn't covered, because that's connected to the brook. Little Garden, okay, but why wasn't Amazon Lily covered? I mean, there's no reference to it. I mean, Boa Hancock shows up twice in the stock footage stuff in this whole arc. She shows up in the Marineford stuff, and she shows up for, like, the stuff for Return of Sabaody. Yeah. I do appreciate, though, they actually do have stock footage shown from stuff like Fishman Island, Punk Hazard, and Dressrosa. Nothing for Zoo Island. Surprisingly, no. There's nothing from that arc that I can think of. But they do have some stock footage from Whole Cake. A little bit, not much. So I would probably say the only arcs they ever really covered this whole entire arc is probably, off the top of my head, they did cover a little bit of Thriller Bark, so I'm going to leave that in there. They didn't cover Amazon Lily. There's no mention of that. Or the Zoo Island arc. Yeah, there's no stock footage in these two arcs at all to this whole arc. There's nothing for Jump Kingdom. Actually, there's nothing for Jump Kingdom. There's nothing for Little Garden, which that would have been interesting if they showed that. And let's see. I think that's it for stuff they didn't cover. But aside from that, the arc itself wasn't rushed as it was in the manga. At least the anime took their time with it. Oh yeah, I also forgot to mention the episode. You do see Luffy in the episode grinning at his Wanda poster. Yep. Probably because his bounty is now 1.5 million. Because the last time it went up was actually, believe it or not, during Dressrosa, when it went up to 600 million. Yeah. Because previously it went up by 100, like the last couple times it went up by like 100 million. Like the first bounty he had was 300 million. And that was after All Park. Yeah. The second bounty he had, which was out to Alabasta, got raised to 100,000 berries. It got raised to, I think it was like 300,000 with Edo's Lobby. That was also the first time, like, all the rest of the crew got their bounties. And in the case of the next time was raised, it wasn't raised. Now Luffy's bounty was raised during Marineford, and then was raised to like 500 million. Was it? Yeah, remember it was. I'm trying to remember. I think it was like Luffy's was 100,000 of Alabasta. For Edo's Lobby, it was like 300,000. For Marineford, I think it went up to like 400,000. I think it was. Yeah, and I think Jimmy mentioned that the highest it went was 500 million, and then went up again for Dressrosa, and then went up again after Whole Cake. I mean, I highly doubt it's gonna raise anytime soon. Only his and Sanji's got raised. I'm surprised that neither's Chopper, none of the rest of the crew who was there, their bounties not get raised at all. Apparently, Nami's stayed pretty much the same. Yeah, Nami's bounties only gone up like maybe a couple times. Yeah, last time it went up was basically during Dressrosa. Yeah. Trying to think, there was anything else for this arc? Not really, no. But aside from the natural Amazon Lily, I would probably say that the only thing else, the only negative I have about this thing is, well, let's see. Well, I wouldn't call it negative per se, but it was quite odd though that there was like the last couple episodes of this arc before this one, where they actually adapted the second half first, and then they adapted the first half very next episode. Though my personal theory is because that picked up right where the last week's episode was off. Yeah, that's my personal theory about it. Yeah, but my only negativity about the arc itself, even from the manga, I mean, Sarahoshi, apparently this dumb celestial dragon thought it'd be a good idea to make her a frickin' slave, despite the fact she's a member of the royal family. Her family is represented, her father's right there. And he didn't care the fact he was going to be kicked out. He wanted to beat the ever living crap out of this guy. And thank God for the member of Doflamingo's family. Yeah, but no one can deny the Celestial Dragons, with the exception of this one guy, are nothing more than a bunch of self-serving pigs. Yeah. But my personal highlight of this arc is the interaction with the three princesses from the three most well-remembered arcs of the series: Alabasta, Dressrosa, and Fishman Island. Yep. It's nice the fact these three got a chance to interact. And plus, you got a chance for Sarahoshi to get a chance to meet not only Vivi and Rebecca, but also the princess from the Taizuru, the the island that's off the coast of Dressrosa, the princess who's in love with Leo, and Leo is oblivious to her feelings. Yeah, but they don't mention it at all. As a matter of fact, these two don't share any screen time together. I mean, Leo shows up for a good chunk of this arc, shows up for several episodes. I mean, it's also great to see Sai again, first time since Dressrosa seeing him, and of course seeing a lot of the other characters. I mean, this arc was built up for a little while. It has big a build up to it as, let's say, Wano, but yeah. Next week is focused on Whitebeard stuff. Yep. But it looks like though that next week, despite the fact, I mean, according to arc already, it was supposed to start in 2 weeks, the one arc. So apparently we're going to jumpstart it early. But my guess is we're only just focusing on the Whitebeard stuff. It's possible that's all they're going to focus on. I hope. Also, at least got to praise the fact that this arc did this. There was one episode they actually adapted from the cover stories, which is the first time in quite a while they actually from the cover stories. The last time I could think of this happen, off the top of my head, was, I think it was an OVA. Yeah, I think an OVA was the last official time we actually did it from the cover stories. If there's one series of cover stories I personally would love to see an adaptation of, it's From the Decks of the World. I would love to see it adapted at some point. I've heard a rumor that the Ace, the Fire Fist Ace cover stories, there's been rumors rolling around for quite a while that that's going to be adapted. I think it's going to be adapted into a special. So far, I haven't seen anything from it yet, but I personally would like to see it. I personally love to see From the Decks of the World. I would love to see that adapted for the anime, along with more of the tales of the self-proclaimed Straw Hat Fleet. I would love to see more of that as well, because the way they did in the anime, it was fantastic. But I kind of wish to get a little more story there. Yep. So yeah, that's particularly it for this particular review. I have roughly about 6 more videos, roughly 2 more anime reviews, 1 novel review, and 3 comic corners. Next one is going to be a novel review. Yeah, I'm going to talk about the first of a 4-book series, The Genesis Wave. You'll find my thoughts on that soon, okay? But to the next video. Bye.